Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello my brother, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? So after I had finished high school, it was me and my girlfriend. We were dating, but we were supposed to go on our separate ways. Ever since I was still a small boy, I was so fascinated about me becoming a military man. So when I passed my high school, I really had good grades. Initially, I had applied for a post in the army, but when the letter came back, to my surprise, it was an admission from the Air Force. This is how I became a pilot. The whole family was really happy for me, but the only person who was not that excited was the girl that I was dating at that time. So me trying to please her, I told her that this was a plan so that we could all get out of the village, because I was tired of us being poor and I didn't want to end up like my poor father. So we then promised each other that we were going to get married, and that was when we made an oath before I had left for military school. Me being a Christian and she was a Christian as well, we then opened the Bible. We were just kids, we were just still growing up. We didn't even understand what we were doing. We then opened the Bible and we selected the verse whereby King David made a blood oath, and that was the same blood oath, the covenant that we ended up doing. Me and that girl that I was dating, we then did a blood covenant that as I was moving out of the village and I will be going out to try and to build a new foundation, never to be married to another woman but her. And after I had built that foundation, I was supposed to return back to the village so that I would take care of her and she would be my wife. Wherever I was going to be, she was going to be there with me. At that time, it was really easy, because as someone who had grown up in the village without ever leaving the village, the only time that I would leave the village, I would always be accompanied either by my father or by my mother. So I never thought that I'll end up dating another girl, except for that girl that I grew up dating, because she meant the world to me. After we had done that blood covenant, we then prayed together and we asked God that He was supposed to be the witness to the love covenant that we were about to do, and there was nothing that was going to separate us. Only death was the thing that was going to separate us. At that time, we didn't even understand what we were doing. Everything that we were doing, my brother, I think that it was just pure demonic. There was nothing that was godly about it, even though we were using some Bible verses, but this was just inspired by the devil. We did it under the seduction of the devil. So I then went for military training. After that, I then started working. Each and every time that I would return back to the village, me and my girl, we would continue with our relationship. But now when I look back, my brother, I think that everything that we did, even though we claimed to be Christian, it was just satanic in nature, because whilst we were sitting underneath that tree, after we had finished cutting up ourselves, then we rubbed our hands together so that our blood could mix with each other. Then we made love. Yes, my brother, we made love with an open Bible by our side. We thought that if we were going to make love, whilst there was a Bible that was opened next to us, God was going to bless our union. But now that I am all grown up, I can see that everything that we did, it is not something that was good. It was just pure blasphemy. After the change of environment, me moving out of the village, going to the city, I then started coming across other girls that were so highly sophisticated and highly intelligent, and I then got attracted to the girl that became my current wife. Me and her, we met whilst we were in military training. She was quite a sophisticated woman, so even though I didn't want to date her, but from the moment that she set her eyes on me, she later told me that she knew that immediately I was the man that she had been waiting for all of her life. I tried avoiding her at first, but with time, as I was maturing, I felt that desire to be with a woman, and at that time I was still struggling financially, and on her part, she was the one who would assist me quite a lot. If it was not for her assistance, I could have not managed to graduate, because soon after graduation, I found myself being broke. All that I had was a dream, but she was there for me. The kind of salary that I was earning at that time, it was a meager salary that couldn't get me anywhere. When my girlfriend's parents found out about our relationship, her father then called me and they sat down with me. Him also being a military man, he gave me a lot of advice. So that is how I ended up being tied to my current wife, and I forgot about my village girl that I had left back in the village. Our relationship that was there between me and my village girlfriend became so distant because we could only communicate via letters. And from the moment that I saw that now I was going to be destined to become a pilot, that thing of me thinking of getting married to my village girlfriend, it became sort of like a distant dream, and she was no longer my class. The girl that I was with in military school, she was the one who was suitable enough to be my wife. So here and there, what was bothering me is that for me to communicate with my village girlfriend, I was the one who had to send her money, because there was no way she could get that money. After sending her the money, she would buy those post office stamps that we used to buy in those days when we will be sending each other your love letters. There were no phones like there are in these days. Your regular people would only communicate via letters, so it was taking a lot of strain on me. I wanted a woman who was financially stable, like the woman that I was dating at that time, who later became my wife. So slowly but surely, I forgot about my village girl and I started enjoying my woman that I had at that time. She quickly fell pregnant and we had to get married before people could notice that she had fallen pregnant. That is when we had our secret wedding. I only invited a few of my relatives. I even asked my parents not to tell anyone in our village that I was about to get married, because my village girl parents, they were such very good friends of my own parent. News traveled really fast. I don't know how she managed to know about that relationship. And when me and my current wife had gotten married to each other, we then moved in together and we had our child. This was without the knowledge of my village girlfriend. She only got to find out about my marriage when I had gone back to the village. My wife had already given birth to our first child. That was when we traveled back to the village. That was when she saw my child. When she heard that I was in the village, at that time I had just purchased my first vehicle. She came, and when she came to greet me, I saw that she was really hurt by the way that she was looking at my wife and by the way that she was looking at my child. She could not even talk to me anymore. Then she went away. After she had gone out of our compound, when she thought that there was no one who was looking at her, I saw that she started crying as she was returning back to her parents' house. Even my wife does not even know about this secret. When she came to me, I think that she wanted to get some sort of a closure from me, and she could not get that chance, and I had forgotten about our blood covenant because I thought that she had moved on with her life. But all those years she had managed to keep herself from me, even though there were a lot of men that were trying to make her get married to them, but she had refused to get married to anyone because she was waiting for me. But what she didn't know is that she was just waiting in vain, because I had already moved on with my life. And when she saw me with my wife, with my child, with a brand new car, I think that she felt as if a world had came crashing on her. So my brother, the very next morning, that was when we had the news that she had been found holding a small bottle of rat poison. She had drunk the whole bottle, and I am sure that within a couple of minutes after she had drunk that bottle of poison, that was when she died. She was found lying on her bed. At first, people thought that maybe she had fallen sick. When they looked at her, that was when they noticed that in her hands she was holding a bottle of rat poison. My brother, at that time, I didn't think that this whole thing was somehow connected to me. It was only after I started seeing a spirit that was when I saw the true damage that I had brought upon my life. Right now, my brother, my child is turning 22 years, and it has been 22 years since that lady that I was dating passed away. This left a lot of guilt in my heart. I have never seen her ghost as such, but sometimes I dream about her. When I see her in my dreams, she does not speak with me, but I will just see that when I look at her in my dreams, she will be wearing a white long dress. Then she will say, "Look at your hands." And when I will look at my hands, they will be covered in blood. And she will say that this is my blood. That is the blood that is on your hands. My prayer to God each and every day is like, please God, do not punish my children for the mistakes that I did when I was still young. I have tried to break this spiritual covenant that we did, but I keep on dreaming about her. And now I can see the effects of that blood covenant that I did, because each and every time when her spirit wakes up, it will visit me whenever she feels like in my dreams. And whenever it happens in my dreams, immediately when I wake up, I'll be sweating like no man's business.